Kool-Aid drinkers, welcome back. Oh my God. Following one of the greatest games in the history of the NFL regular season by none other than our Detroit Lions against the Minnesota Vikings. Oh boy, we're here to celebrate that victory. And we're a little short-handed here today. I'm not going to lie to you. Our guy Big Z is on the IR today with his voice broke. And he can't get it fixed in time. So hopefully he'll be back for the next podcast. But he's not able to make it tonight. Red Dog's off on he's working a little bit, but he might join us later in the pod. So I'm here with Bob.
Hey, how's it going, UJ?
Pretty good. Now, Bob, let's start with you, man. Let's just, you were at the game. You were there with your bride and your son and your Connor and Charlie Zacconi. And tell me the experience. Just give me a little rundown, man.
It was amazing. I'm thankful that Ford Field is an indoor stadium because it was so freaking cold outside. But the atmosphere. Well, you were at one of the loudest games in NFL history, the Rams game.
I was at that game last year. Yes,
yeah, that's like the gold standard as far as I'm concerned, just because that was so much pent up energy from Detroit fans. But this one, this keeps building and building, and this thing is huge right now. And it wasn't like an hour before the game, everyone's going nuts like that Rams game. But once the game was on, man, it was crazy. And remember the Rams bought all those, or not the Rams, I'm sorry, the Vikings. Yeah. They bought all those tickets, and they're like, "Oh, we're going to take over the stadium." They did a little chatter early, but it wasn't very loud, and it faded quickly. When their spirits were broken.
Seemed crazy, didn't it? They spent $2 million to buy up 1,900 seats. Like that 1,900 voices are gonna be overpower the other 63,000 or 64,000.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
But the atmosphere was electric. The Lions do a great job on the production values now these days with the new uniforms. I mean, we're not the big fans of the black ones, but given what they had, they did it with the black and the whole stadium and the lights and everything synchronized, and so the energy was crazy throughout the game, and it just kept building and building. And late in the game, I didn't see the TV broadcast, so you might have seen this earlier, but the Lions were in a big defensive stand, and they needed a big stop. And then they got one big stop, and then they needed to get one more play. I can't remember if it was third or fourth down. But then the scoreboard, they found Hutch on the sidelines. And when they saw him, the energy in the place just like whoosh, through the roof, man. Everyone was nuts. And I think that affected the game because the next play, they were just like, it was just energy was like insane. And it was so
they
fun.
They did show that on TV, by the way, with Hutch on the sideline cheering everyone on. And it, and we noticed it too. I mean, we were all going, "Hey, there's Hutch," believe me. And I was just at home with my wife watching, but all my daughters, everyone we know was watching the game somewhere. But we were in contact with each other. We got the text threads going and everything. Oh, it was amazing! What a game!
And then, like in the fourth quarter, when it was, the Lions had the game well in hand, then all the fans, we started doing the skull chant, with the clapping over the head, like in the synchronized, So we're throwing that back on them. There were some Vikings fans there, not a ton, but there were, you could see them. There were enough there to find them, and they were very quiet late in the game. We had some guy behind us who was like going nuts early in the game, like every time they'd make a play or the Lions would screw up or something. But he was very quiet as the game went on.
Well, this game was a revelation to me. I mean, all the talking heads, it was like 50-50. I think most of the talking heads, as far as who's going to win this game, Lions or Vikings, people are pretty split on it. And the general consensus seemed to be we were going to have to score a ton of points to win this game. And because Minnesota was no doubt going to score against our defense, who, with all the guys we have missing and all that. And wow, did we turn everything up on its ear, man. This defense came out to play a game. Holy cow, man. I don't know what Aaron Glenn did to these guys. They were like just maniacs out there. They just controlled the tempo of this game from the get-go. When we didn't score on our first drive, I'm sort of immediately thinking, oh man, Minnesota, what if they score? Now we're going to be playing catch up and blah, blah, blah. It
Yeah,
just didn't go that way at all. At all. So it was, man, I don't know where to start. But
it was crazy though. Yeah, like I think we all predicted it would be like a high scoring game pretty much.
Yeah.
And I mean, ended up being pretty good for the Lions in the end, but mostly, the beginning, especially the first half, was a very defensive game. And
here's the
yeah, I don't know how.
Here's to me one of the big differences between the Lions and every other team we play right now. And I don't know about the AFC right now, the Chiefs and the Ravens. We'll see when we play them in the Super Bowl. But we are just a better team. But we just hammered them. How many times did we go 2 tight ends, extra linemen, and we pounded and pounded and pounded and pounded, and we softened them up. And by the third quarter, you could see it. That defense was beaten down, and we were gashing them. It just took 3 quarters to do it, and we did. And then they were done. They were toast. They could not stop us at that point. And Gibbs just went wild. It's just a testament to our offense that the line. The play calling, consistency, staying with a game plan. I mean, never giving up on the run, even when it's not looking good. And, when we had to, we passed. And look at Goff, not have his best game ever. He made a couple mistakes, what you normally be very costly mistakes. An interception on the 5-yard line. Oh, my God. And then he turns the ball right over after we get it back and on an interception. No big deal.
Yeah. What was it? Was it Campbell who was saying that, when Goff makes mistakes like that, he just gets mad, and he gets tougher, because I think as the game went on, that fourth quarter, he was just slinging it.
He does.
He was like,
and maybe his best play of the game was another 4th down. Of course, we're going for it. We always do. 4th and 3, I think it was. And he had a guy blitzing right in his face, and he waited till the last second. Dips a little to his right and throws a sidearm, flings it sidearm across for a first down. He took a hit too in the process. What a play! What a brilliant play! I mean, Goff was brilliant in this game. You take away his mistakes, and he was brilliant though. I mean,
oh yeah, and what you're talking about, like how the offense, they pounded the Vikings defense and kind of wore them down. I think our defense, they played with such violence, and I didn't see with the broadcast, but somebody was saying that they were saying, oh, you can't play man on Jefferson and everything, but Glenn stuck to his guns, man.
Did.
They were playing man coverage most of the game, and they were blitzing people from different angles, and they just stuck to their style, and they wore him down. And Sam Darnold, he's having a great year this year, but they were hitting him. If it wasn't showing up in a sack, it was showing up in just him getting nailed to the turf after he lets go of the ball. So he was getting a little rattled out there too.
He was.
So,
Bob, I think you nailed it, Bob, with your word, violence, and that's how this team played. And you're right. They just came hard and heavy, man. Every receiver who caught a ball got punished. Darnold got punished often. They broke one big run against us, but aside that, they didn't run much against us, and our defense just came to play, man. They played fast, they played furious, they just never hesitation. They just went after people. It was something. It was a thing of beauty to watch. And let's just talk about the defense a little more. Anzalone coming back. What a difference.
What a lift that was for the whole team, I think, man. When he came out in the pregame introductions, the stadium was insanely loud because everyone's been waiting for him to come back, and we're so excited to see him. And they were talking about snap count or whatever, but I don't know, it felt like he was out there the whole game. I don't know what snap counts were, but he played a lot.
He did.
He was out there affecting the game too.
Oh, man, he was all over Hawkinson most of the game. I think he allowed one. Hawkinson had 2 or 3 catches maybe, but he was all over the field. I mean, him and Campbell back there together, wow. These guys covered ground, man. They stopped people. It was amazing. To me, he was a major boost to that defense.
Oh, yeah. The linebacking was great. Reeves-Maben made some plays, and then And the secondary, it's unfortunate Arnold got banged up late in the game, but they played a hell of a job. I mean,
Yep.
Amik Robertson, wow, what a game for
Yeah.
him, man. He was a great pickup. He's not one of the guys we drafted, but we got him, and he just fits that style, and he loves being there.
I know.
Because he's getting an opportunity with the Lions that he didn't get elsewhere to really show what he can do, with that style of defense. So it's worked out really well.
He got the game ball after the game from Campbell, and you can see he's so humble and he's so happy to be there. And he made some funny comment. You can't bury what comes from dirt. But he's talking about himself. He says, they try to put me down, and you can't bury what came from dirt. I'm not sure what that means, but I think I kind of get it, but sort of in a odd way. But
so if you dug up a potato from the dirt, you couldn't rebury it.
No, because once it's unburied. No, wait a minute. A potato,
because it came from the dirt.
If you were a potato, you came. No. Anyway,
I don't know. I'm sure he has it figured out. But
yeah, here's the guy. He's a little on the short side. I think he's 5'9" or 5'10". So he was never expected to be CB1 or CB2. He was going to play in the slot and whatever. And he's had a really good season for the Lions. But here, forced into action, he had to play their best receiver. And man, holy cow, 3 catches for Jefferson in that game. And Chris Collinsworth, the whole game, was talking about how whenever he talk about Jefferson, he talk about one of the best, if not the best, receiver who ever played the game. Chris Collinsworth was saying this several times during the game. Now, come on, man. And Amik shut him down. Just literally shut him down.
Yeah.
It was
and he is a great player. I'll say that, but the Lions rose to the occasion, man. They stopped him. So it was amazing. That's what some of these prognosticators were just looking at pure statistics and like all that, on paper, he's going to torch this Lions defense, which has been struggling lately, with all the injuries. But Aaron Glenn, another guy who just was huge this game. He came up with the plan, man, and he just seems so cool out there. Like Aaron Glenn, he just got this thing down, man.
He does. Any team's looking for a coach, you got to be looking at that game and say, holy cow, man. I'll tell you that here's where the prognosticators and the talking heads fail too all the time. They always do. And like we as fans and Kool-Aid drinkers, we know this team, we love this team, but there's more than the numbers, game, and the stats and all that stuff. This team has something different, man. It really does. It's just, you call it heart or call it desire. I don't know what you want to call it, but this is a team possessed by the football gods, man. I'm telling you, this team is, I can't recall seeing a team like this. The one comparison I'll sort of make, I want to say the 85 Bears. If you remember that team.
Yeah, I do. I grew up in Chicago, so I know that.
That was the single one-year best football team I've ever seen in the NFL. Their defense was just astounding, and their offense was average, but they didn't have to be great because their defense is so good.
They certainly tell you that in Chicago.
But this team has that sort of, maybe not that braggadocio kind of that the Bears did, but we have something going.
I don't know. UJ, that was a great team. I don't know that they were the greatest. I mean, a lot of people say they are, but I thought the 84 49ers are pretty damn good. But anyway, there's a lot of good teams.
Yes.
But if this team completes what they're doing right now in this mission, you can make the argument that they're one of the greats. So, if they gotta obviously finish the job, but if they do, the way this team has played all year and just like looking back, you'd have to rank this team up there.
Oh, you have to. And you have to say Dan Campbell is the greatest football coach that ever coached football.
Yeah, it certainly feels that way, man. And you look at, like, we're talking about Chicago. I mean, we'll bring it to the current Bears. Like Matt Eberflus, who got fired, obviously, but just the whole difference in the team. Like when they would lose like a close game or whatever, he's like, oh, we made the right plays, and like all this stuff, all these excuses and mealy mouth stuff. And Campbell always takes responsibility. Yep. He also expects the players to take responsibility for themselves, and they do. And they respect the coach. The coach respects them, and they high standards for each other, and they believe in each other. They respect each other, and you don't see that on those bad coach teams. I just use him as an example, Eberflus, but there's plenty of others.
Right.
that don't have what the Lions have.
And he never sees hurdles. Like he gives the other team their due respect. Oh, this is a great team we're playing, and this and that, and blah blah blah. Like that. But he relishes every single challenge. He goes, "This is great. All right, the last game of the season, we get to play for everything. Great for the first seed. Great. This is fairy tale stuff. It's what we live for. And you get the players believing this stuff, and it's like, I mean." Man, it's not like, oh man, now we got to win this game. Nah, we got to overcome this. No, they're not overcoming anything. They're chomping at the bit to get at these things. They want to do these things more than anything. It's just, I don't know, it's incredible.
It's amazing. It's amazing, and he's smart too. Like a lot of those national people, or when he first came out, they're calling him like a meathead and all this stuff, and like he's stupid or something. But if you listen, I think that's because they picked up on some quotes or whatever. But if you listen to him speak at any length, he's not dumb at all. He's a very smart guy, and he's very highly motivating. The way the players talk about him, in the way the fans, like casual fans who never played football, want to play football when they hear him talk. Yeah. like I'll go play for that guy.
Just listen to any press conference he does. His emotional IQ is off the chart. He explains things, thoughtfully. Everything he does is thoughtful, and it's meaningful. He's not just making up stuff and giving you lines, and he's very genuine. And I think the players just live off that, and you can see it. You can see it in that locker room. It's just the love there. The whole team, they just play for each other. There's no jealousy. There's no anything. They're all playing for each other, and they're achieving great things in the process. So
let's talk about a little more about the game. Like, what did you think? Like, some highlights, I guess, from the offense or the defense, or I don't know how you want to break it down. I don't know if you want to go through the whole game, but at least some of the highlights.
Okay. I'll start with my first highlight. Was in the first drive. The Lions are going for I think it's their first down. He does a little flare out to Gibbs, and Gibbs catches it out in the flat and stops and runs backwards like 3 yards to regain his feet, and then takes off and still gets the first down, get past the defender. A super athletic move. I couldn't believe it. The drive stalled, but that was pretty awesome by Gibbs. Who
was obviously the player of the game with 4 touchdowns.
Might as well just talk about him a little bit. He got pummeled by Van Ginkel, just absolutely pile-drived him. And I don't know if that was Goff's fault, or is that someone missed a block, or that's just they didn't anticipate it, whatever it was. But good Lord.
They read that perfectly, though.
That just shows you how tough Gibbs is.
And they beat a good team. That also demonstrates that they sniffed out a few of those kind of things on the Lions where they'd get them.
They did.
I mean, that was a highlight reel hit there, but there were other plays similar. They got kind of blown up a little bit, but Lions just keep doing what they're doing, and they eventually break through.
They did. But and also to the Lions. Let's just talk about complementary football and how everyone helps each other, and the special teams in this game. The end of the first half, the Minnesota kicker kicks one out of bounds. We get the ball on the 40 with a chance to score with like 15 seconds on the clock, right?
And,
Two pass plays later, we're in field goal range, and boom. And by the way, I think Khalif Raymond caught one of those passes. First one to Amon-Ra out of bounds, and then to Khalif, and they were able to clock it. And then Bates gets the kick, and we score an easy 3 points. So here's special teams taking advantage of a mistake, which we've been doing all season. Just great football.
Yes. And speaking of special teams, I didn't have stats prepared, but I did find one stat. But you might have seen this, but Jack Fox set a single season record in net punting average for the year, 46.2 average. So for the NFL history. So
NFL history.
Yes. So there you go.
That's
Jack Fox.
That's amazing.
This team is legendary. So that was just one thing, but he's been great this
Oh,
year.
man.
I'm pinning teams deep and just flipping the field. It's been fantastic. So
Yeah.
he obviously kept that going this game.
He did. What else on offense? I mean, aside from Goff's couple mistakes, he generally had a really solid game, and in the second half was actually more than solid. He was fantastic.
I thought that throw that Goff had on fourth down to Jameson Williams, where he got crushed right in the middle as a blitzer went up the middle, and he converted on 4th and 5, I believe it was, to Jameson. Yeah. That was a really good throw.
That was a fantastic throw.
Oh yeah,
we mentioned that earlier, and that to me was my favorite throw of the game from him. He had a lot of other good throws. That one to Amon Ra right before the end of the half was just the most well-placed throw you can imagine at the sideline.
His 50-yard, 5-yard bomb to the other team.
Yeah.
Punt. His first down punt throw or whatever.
He was the second best punter in the game.
Yeah.
That's right. So it just shows you he just wanted to show off his arm a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
No one really knows what happened in that play. Gibbs sort of slowed down, stopped running, and I don't know.
I didn't get it. From our angle, it looked like it's gonna be an interception, you know, like just watching it come down. And it was, but it didn't hurt him. And what was the other there was another play. I was asked for your help on this one, where they went for it on 4th down and they had JMO wide open, and I think it got tipped at the line, but I couldn't really tell at the stadium.
It did get slightly tipped.
Because it just looked like a really bad throw. I'm like, something had to go wrong with that.
It was tipped. It was tipped.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't get that 4th down play that time.
That was a good call, though, because he was open.
It was a good call.
Obviously, they defended
I'll tell you,
it.
Campbell has been stuck to his guns this whole time. He's been amazing. Oh, hey, there is a play I wanted to talk about. Maybe you can I can recall your memory on this. That touchdown pass to Gibbs when he lines up to the right and just delays like he's going to block the end and then cuts. He just starts, to the end zone.
Yeah. Just like
it was such a brilliant play, simple and absolutely brilliant. And he scores a touchdown. We did that same play against another team earlier this year, and I was having trouble remembering who we did that against. The same exact play. Exactly.
Really? I'm not sure. About that.
Wow.
Sorry. But that was a hell of a play.
Oh,
Gibbs was just fired up, man, this game.
But again, that was on 4th down. This is so not unusual for us to do this stuff.
And like one of his first downs, I don't know, it was like a 15-yard run or something, but he caught a corner. And when you see him like live from the side, just going by, he's so fast. It's ridiculous.
Oh, it is. And you can see when he sees that little, it could be a little slit. It could be this tiniest opening. But when he sees it, he turns the jets on, and then the defenders don't have a chance. They
And then one touchdown that he ran in, in the last few yards, he was like the whole pile. He just backs up and just using his legs. Yeah. So he's got that too. The little Monty in him. He can do it all.
Does.
So
he's powerful, and he's the most humble little kid too. I mean, in the locker room, he gave him a game ball also, and he's man a few words. Love you guys. Like that was it.
Yeah.
But, he's just very humble guy, and wow. Yeah. What are all those prognosticators saying now? What a bad pick that was, taking him in the first round. Remember that?
Yeah.
What a horrible pick that was. Oh.
I liked that pick from the start, but a lot of people didn't like that or the Campbell pick.
Yeah.
And they were two huge contributors to this game. And they obviously don't know what the hell they're talking about. But
where do you start in this game? I mean, our tight ends played great. Laporta had 7 catches, I believe, in this game.
Yeah, it was nice to see Laporta. He's the second half of the season, especially. It seems like they're really starting to use him a lot more, and which will be helpful for the playoffs.
As a blocker, he is terrific. Him and Wright together. There's one on Gibbs's short touchdown run, the 10-yard one, I believe it was, where he went to the outside. They Laporta and Wright flattened Van Ginkel to create that edge. They pancaked him and gave Gibbs that edge to just run to the corner. It was beautiful.
That's sweet. And that that's that whole thing that Campbell and Ben Johnson are preaching about. This you have to block if you're going to be on this team.
Yeah.
You're not just going to be a receiver or whatever. And there was one play. I wish I could remember the detail of it, but I just remember watching it, and I was talking to Charlie about it after it happened. But they got off a pass, and it was a first down. I think it was to Amon-Ra or something. But Gibbs had a sweet block right there. That there was a guy like coming right in his face, and he like nailed him right there with a huge block. So he helped free up for the pass.
Gibbs is a really good blocker, and Craig Reynolds also. I want to give him some props because when he
came
in, he had a couple of really solid blocks in there for Goff, and that's one of the big things, because a lot of times our line they blitz a lot of people, especially the Vikings, and there's a lot of times there's that one guy coming free, and if our running back doesn't pick him up, Goff is a dead man.
Yeah,
but they were picking him up, so fantastic. It's funny, and Ben Johnson did not have to go to any circus plays or any weird stuff in this game. He just had a really solid game plan all around, I think. And
there was always huge cheers in the stadium every time Skipper reported eligible, but they didn't throw to him or anything.
I think that's great. Gotta love Skip, man. Hey, you look in the last 3-4 years watching this team grow. Skipper, man, that guy, he's come a long way. Remember?
Oh,
getting
yeah.
cut from the team and coming back.
And I think that one game where he was like forced to start and he did well and he got a game ball.
Yeah.
I think that really built up his confidence because Campbell really called him out on that, and gave him props for being so tough. And I don't know, since then he just seems to
doesn't
believe in himself.
Like his demeanor seems different. He seems meaner and tougher. I don't know. And he's so big, man. That guy's a monster. He is. He's huge. Man. He's 6'9". Kid J's coming.
Kid J.
UJ, I think I found the play where Gibbs had that passing touch, this receiving touchdown. I think it was on Thursday Night Football against the Packers. Or he had that angle route on the goal line. It was against the Packers.
Same exact play, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was from like 2 yards out, and this one was from 10 yards out, but it was the same route.
Yeah, I think
that's awesome.
Yeah, he kind of. Yeah.
That was awesome.
I found it.
You found it.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the play I was talking about. So that came back again. I can't believe they didn't scout for that. But whatever. I guess you can't scout for everything. But
yeah,
Ben Johnson doesn't miss too many tricks.
Yeah, that was a heck of a game, though, man. What'd you think that first half? It's kind of like I did predict that, right? That I thought it would be close, for the first half, and the Lions would like pull away. But I thought it would be a higher scoring game for sure. And I was so impressed with that there's no touchdowns for Minnesota. Who would have thought? It's especially with the depleted defense. That's why I say that. I mean, but
yeah, it was just there's so many superlatives go around. It's you don't even know where to stop. But since the game has been played, I guess Ben Johnson has two job interviews this week. One with Patriots and one with the Bears.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, and Aaron Glenn, he's got the Bears reached out to him too, I think.
Oh, really? I hadn't heard that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
So I'm sure they'll both be hot commodities this year. Hopefully they hold out for the right job, and if it's not there, they just stay with us.
I think they're both going to be great coaches wherever they go.
Yeah.
I'm really happy for Aaron Glenn. I think his road's been a harder road that he's traveled since becoming a coach to get where he's got to. So, I feel really happy for his success right now. And if he goes on to be a head coach, I'd be very happy for him.
I would. Somebody mentioned that the Jets might be interested in him, which would make sense because he was a Jet.
Yes.
Back in the day.
And we know that.
But I don't know if they've reached out to him or not. I haven't heard officially.
No, I haven't heard officially either, but I did hear there was actual personal interest there.
But they can do. I guess this week they can do a Zoom interview with with a team that has the bye or whatever. But otherwise, they're gonna have to wait till the end of the season after that. But
it's gonna be very interesting. But I'm not gonna worry about that stuff right now.
Yeah. Yeah, they can't. The NFL teams can only virtually interview until the 20th, and then they can go for then they can do in person interviews in either the coach's city or some approved location by the team, and then they're supposed to break off team communication with the interviewing teams by February 3rd before the Super Bowl. Otherwise, it's tampering.
All right. Well, there you go.
Yeah. It still seems weird interviewing for a team while you're coaching another team to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, that does seem weird.
But
yeah. Well, here's what we do. Here's why we're successful.
It's the nature of the game, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know, Bob. So are you going to be going to the next 2 playoff games? That's my question to you, because you do have the season tickets, right?
Yes, definitely.
All right, good
definitely.
for you.
So it'll be awesome. If they just win that next game, have a home NFC championship. Oh my god, this is
amazing.
How about this? Just this record. I was listening. I looked back at our old predictions. I think you had 17-0 was yours. Mine was 15-3, 15-3 for Z. Connor had 14 and whatever, and
14-3.
Yeah, 14-3. I had 15. What did I have? Wait, I had 14-3.
Okay.
Connor had 13-4, rather, and so nobody got it perfectly, and Red Dog had them 17-0. Well, you had beyond 17-0. You had
I know.
Undefeated through the Super Bowl.
Well, here's the thing about our 2 losses. The Tampa Bay was the second game of the season. I mean, we haven't even had a preseason game. They didn't even practice. So Tampa caught us a little off guard. Okay, fine. No one caught us off guard after that. But we get to the Buffalo game. All right, the Buffalo came in with a solid game plan and hit us in the mouth hard early in the game and went up big early. And if it wasn't for that, because we came back and almost won that damn game, but time ran out. I mean, really, I don't look at Buffalo did anything great to us. We let ourselves fall behind early on that one. But man, we could have easily won that game too. I mean, there's no team out there that's better than this team right now. I just don't think so.
I completely agree.
Top to bottom.
I mean, look at Minnesota had the same record as us, and we just kicked their ass again. Second win against them.
You see Sam Darnold sitting on the bench, looking like Sam Darnold of old. Oh my god, he forgot where he was. He was thinking he was back with the Jets again or something. It was sad. But the Vikings they're a tough team, and it was just a great game.
But yeah, what a season though. I mean, as a Lions fan, I mean, your grandchildren they grow up and the Lions are great all the time, right? Because they're young. But but for us who are a little older, we've seen it all, and we've seen 0-16 and just a lot of mediocre football for a lot of years. Some good football, but not great, And now we're one of those teams, that you looked at those the old Redskins or the 49ers. We're one of those elite teams now. It's crazy.
It's so weird. I mean, I remember back in 1981, Eddie Murray missing that field goal against the Niners, to keep us out of the NFC Championship game. And that's my oldest disappointment.
By the way, I was looking up the box score of that game. I did see that game, but that was, I don't know how old I was. So it was a long time. I don't really remember it, but I remember them losing with the missed field goal. But I didn't realize, because you were like, oh, Gary Danielson willed him to win, but he also threw 5 interceptions in that game.
Well, that's how your memory plays tricks on you.
So,
hey.
But he obviously got him down from field goal range at the end. They should have won it, even despite that. But I thought that was interesting.
That is interesting.
5 picks.
Yeah. So many years of mediocrity, and every once in a while you'd get a spurt of life, like during the Barry Sanders years, and 91 when we went to the NFC Championship game. That was a fun team. The run and shoot offense, and we scored a lot of points, and it was a fun team. And then we fell off the face of the earth again after that, and we're bad for a lot of years. Had a few good years under Stafford.
Yeah, we had 5,000 yards and Calvin, and lot of excitement, but
we always
they could never
we
get it all
always had
together.
to find one player to root for or something, because otherwise, with this team, every player on this team, like, it's not just one player. It's everybody. It's remarkable.
Yeah, it's incredible.
So
It's very fun.
anyway,
And now it's all natural, right? Like last year, you might be a little nervous in games. This year, I mean, maybe you're nervous a little bit, but you're just kind of figuring out, like, well, how they're going to win now. Okay, they're down 10, but okay,
Yeah.
they just need, another touchdown. They stop, and then they'll be right back in it. There's no like doubt this year like there was in the
No.
past.
Yeah. And that's a decades-long adjustment to make, right? For us who've been rooting for the Lions for so long.
Yeah, but that's all. To me, that's all history now. I don't even think about that stuff
I've been
anymore.
telling my
just like,
kids since the day they were born, I says, loyalty will pay off someday. Someday. People ask me, why do you root for that loser team? Year after year, people tell me that. Why? What other team I root? I love them. It's my team, And then I says, someday, it's victory is going to be so sweet when they actually do win it. It's going to be the sweetest thing ever. And boy, I'm starting to taste it right now. So let's keep it.
It's a beautiful thing.
So anything else you'd like to close up with, brother?
Did you have any of those other stats? Well, we had Gibbs broke the record. He had 4 touchdowns, and he got the single season scoring record for running back. And Barry Sanders was at the game, so he got to congratulate him, I'm sure. But and Calvin Johnson was there. They welcomed him.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
Was there. That was great. Let's see here.
You were saying Amon-Ra, was it 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns or something?
10 touchdowns,
or
1,000 yards, 3 consecutive years, I think it was, which is only 3 men in the NFL have ever done that. Let's see. There's some other numbers here. Gibbs set a single season franchise record with 20 touchdowns. He joins Hall of Famers O.J. Simpson, Marshall Faulk, and David Johnson as the 4 players in the league history to have 1,900 yards or more from scrimmage and at least 16 rushing touchdowns.
Wow, that's awesome.
One among 4.
Yeah,
that's pretty amazing.
How about that?
Amazing.
And then, did J-Mo cross 1,000 yards in this game? He was close, I know.
You know what? I don't know if he did.
I guess I should have checked that before this started. But
yeah, well, it's kind of
Oh yeah, 1,001 yards. 1,001.
Right.
So there you go.
That's good. That's one thing fun about the last weekend of the football when you're watching. They got all these guys that are trying to get milestones, to get their bonuses and stuff.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Like a lot of the games, that Sutton, the receiver from Denver, he needed 85 yards, and watching him he got his $500,000. Geno Smith got $3 million for them winning that game.
Oh, yeah. I saw there was like 3 different incentives, and he hit them all. In that
Stuff
game.
like that's kind of fun. I don't know if the Lions players had anything like any of our players had anything like that going, but
the most prominent one was Mike Evans. He was going to get $3 million if he had 1,000 yards this season, and
yes.
The Buccaneers already clinched it, and then he got like a little 9-yard reception on the last one, the second to last play of the game or whatever, to get his 1,000 yards, and the whole team went crazy.
Right.
Yeah, that's fun.
I was watching that.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
And then we saw that Kirby got screwed. He could have, if he made the Pro Bowl, which he won the fan vote, but he didn't get selected. That was like another $3 million or something like that.
Well, apparently his peers think he's a dirty player. So
yeah, well,
yep.
He's good though. That's all I know. He's our guy.
Yeah.
It's like Sue was never dirty with the Lions because he was a lion.
You know what? If I wasn't a Lions fan, I'd probably Sue would have been the dirtiest player out there. But I remember we were always trying to defend him all the time. He didn't really step on that guy's leg. Like, he sort of lifted. He didn't really step down hard on it,
Right.
He didn't kick that guy in the nuts on purpose. Come on.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. When it's your guy.
I know. That's fun.
Anyway,
but yeah,
we have a couple weeks to rest up now. A couple injuries in this game. Zeitler came out with a pulled hammy at the end of the game. Mahogany had to go in and finish up for him. was toward.
And the scary one, Terry and Arnold getting carted off. But apparently he says he's going to play in the next game.
Yeah,
So
that's good news. So good news. And hopefully Zeitler's hamstring isn't too bad, and he'll be back too because he's been playing great football this year. But it's nice to know Mahogany can fill in capably if he has to, but hopefully it won't happen.
yeah. And what about St. Rita product Pat O'Connor? I know he had to leave the game.
Yes, he left the game too,
with an
and
injury.
I never got an update on what his status was. So we'll have to see what's up with that. Hopefully he'll be okay because he's been a nice contributor here down toward the end of the season.
Yeah.
He's done a nice job. So, yeah, I hope he can come back. But another standout in this game I got to mention, though, is Levi Anzarike. I don't know if I mentioned him earlier, but, man, he was a force in there today or yesterday. I think he had, like, he led the team in hurries in that game.
Oh,
and,
yeah. Yeah.
And he was a force there. The interior rush was quite good in this game. Him and Pascal and
Reader
and Zadarius Smith. Wow, those guys just did a phenomenal job.
Oh, Zadarius Smith with that one big sack he got
Yeah.
in the game. That was awesome.
You think that guy's happy he got traded?
Oh, God. He's the happiest guy in America, man.
All he had to do was move a couple 100 miles north or whatever, right? And
oh, yeah. From the day he got here, he was excited,
Yeah.
and now he's got to be really excited.
oh man,
And he's contributing, so that's the important thing. And it's awesome.
is awesome.
So, yeah, I think we hit most of the highlights, and we won't know who we're playing yet. Obviously,
No.
we got to see who's playing. Who beats who, and it's nice to be able to sit back and just relax this week and just there's football on. And
it is
no
really
stress.
nice.
No.
Yeah, I get to sit back, watch the college bowl games, go Notre Dame.
Yeah.
What else? I don't know. It's gonna be fun. Are you rooting for anybody in particular to win this next week?
In the college.
No, well, college or pro, either one.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of hoping. I'm a Michigan fan, but I'm kind of rooting for Notre Dame for you. I used to like them a little bit when I was a kid, but yeah, I don't know. I don't really.
Okay.
I was trying to think of another team that I really care about, but in the NFL, not really.
The NFL,
but,
no. I don't know.
Yeah, so it'll beat each
I
other
just
up.
don't think it matters.
No,
who
it
we
doesn't.
play against. I honestly just don't think it matters.
Yeah, and the Packers, Jordan Love got hurt, and Christian Watson's out for the season, so they're in trouble. But,
Yeah.
So probably won't be facing them. We could face the Vikings again next. We know. Who knows?
Yes. Oh, I don't know if you saw that, but after the game, Campbell went out to Coach McDonald and says, "Probably see you in a couple weeks."
Oh yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, that was cool.
I respect that guy though. Kevin O'Connell's a good coach, and I think they're probably hoping to win this year. I guess they have one of the older rosters in the league, so
Yeah.
they're.
I agree with you. He is an excellent coach. He's done a real good job with that team. They weren't even expected to win more than 7 games this year, and they won 14, so they had a pretty damn good year. So
Yeah,
so
not bad.
Respect to them. They had a great year. So
Yeah, tip the hat.
they
and
pushed
then
us to the
Get
brink.
the hell out of here. Yes,
but we
they
still
did.
Came out on top. So, what do you say, Bob? At that, we just
Yeah, I think that's the most of the highlights. I'm sure everybody's excited. And I
you
don't know
gotta
what
get
our-
excited this team. Oh,
Well, Z's not here. I'm not sure what the plan is for the next pod, but it won't be a preview right away because we don't know who we're playing. So I'm not sure what we're gonna do. So we'll let everybody know.
probably after this weekend's games, we'll have a pod coming out probably next Monday or Tuesday. After the games are over, we'll see what the aftermath was and who we're going to play, and we'll talk about it then. So in the meantime, go Lions, baby, and everyone enjoy life. Enjoy being a Lions fan.
All right.
Woo-hoo.
So do you know the Z usually does this, but you know the whole outro, who to thank and all that stuff.
Well, that's where we leave it to our producer, Kid Jay.
Well, oh, wait, we could thank him first,
hey.
and then he can take it from
Yeah,
there.
let's do that. We'd like
All
to
right.
first thank our producer, Kid J.
Kid J.
Kid
Kid J. The best in the
He
business.
is the best, folks. He's the best.
Thank you, Jay. Who else do we have to thank?
We want to thank Sideline Report for hosting the podcast and Minute Maid Media. We want to thank want to thank all our listeners for listening. Want to thank from the Detroit Lions for being so fun to watch, and follow us on social media at Drinking Lions on Twitter, Drinking the Blue Kool-Aid on Instagram, and I'm drinking the Blue Kool-Aid on YouTube as well. So follow us on our social media and stay tuned for the next episode, which should be coming next week sometime.
All right.
All right.
You, Jay, that was awesome. You got to do that better than Z. That was really good, man.
So
really good.
follow us, like and subscribe, everyone.
Yes.
All
And
right.
last
All right.
but not least,
Go ahead.
as always, go.
Go.